like to throw it around like it's just, nothing. Like, well, everybody's racist. And I'm like, no, everybody can't be racist. I mean, there are racists out here, but to just, everybody that voted for Trump was a racist or they were, something, it seems kind of weird to me. It's like making an excuse. So were you surprised though that Hillary didn't win?
No, I wasn't surprised at Hillary. Hillary, she played herself. And I have to congratulate her on one thing. Congratulations, Hillary. You played yourself. Okay? Hillary got her ass on stage with Jay-Z and Beyonce. We know good and damn well she can't name 3 Jay-Z songs and can't name 5 Beyonce songs. Okay? But she's all on stage with Jay-Z and Beyonce talking about how much hot sauce in her bag and how much pork chops she gonna eat and how she gonna buy the new Yeezys on Thursday. These are all failing campaign strategies as far as attracting the black vote. Now I'm being a little bit, exaggerated, obviously, but Hillary Clinton failed to really connect to people. She failed to connect to black people, which is the central aspect of any Democratic candidate becoming president.
Most definitely. Now, what do you think about the people who jumped out at the last minute, like Jay-Z, Beyonce, the Cleveland Cavalier players and stuff like that, jumping out and jumping on the bandwagon, saying, "Vote for her, she's good." What do you think about people like that?
Well, we have to understand that it's politics, right? So at the $50 million mark, $100 million mark, $150 million mark, we understand that politics plays a bigger factor than anything. So it's going to be hard for anybody, white, black, or indifferent, celebrity or unknown, at a $50 million bank account to not play politics. So it's the situation where you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So we don't necessarily know the sorts of politics that play behind the scene that allow a Jay-Z and Beyonce to be prominent figures in the society, and that allow a LeBron James to be a prominent figure in the society.
That's
so
right.
it's essentially a situation where you have somebody maybe calling in a favor because they've afforded those black athletes and entertainers a favor as well.
Yeah, most definitely, because remember they were, friends with Obama. So I guess Obama makes the call and say, "Hey, yeah, jump in and help out, our candidate or whatever." So I guess they have to jump in and, make it seem like something. For those who just joined, we're on an interview here on Facebook Live and on Periscope with the Black Guru offering some sage wisdom. Go ahead and make sure you check this out and share it out if you just got in here. But I wanted to ask you too about Barack Obama, about his legacy. He told us to go vote, don't boo and go vote, and things like that. Do you think his legacy will be what he wanted it to be?
No, no. I think the Obama legacy will suffer because the greatest aspect of the Barack Obama presidency was, if we're going to be honest, the fact that he was the first black president. That's the biggest keynote as far as him becoming president. In a country that had slavery, Jim Crow segregation, all of a sudden in 2008, here comes a black president. Now, that will be juxtaposed or positioned next to what happened to the black people in the country while he was president. Okay, you have to compare those two different things. So we have Barack Obama being president, but what was the condition of the black people during your presidency? Did it change much? Did it get worse, or did it get better? I think that's a fair question to ask. So being that he was the first black president, and in the last 4 or 5 years, we have a outbreak, an epidemic of unarmed black men, women, and children being shot by police, but more importantly, those police officers and people, civilians, not being charged for those crimes. I think that's going to be a indictment on his legacy overall.
Yeah, just like in the Walter Scott case, they came out last week and say it's a mistrial. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, were you surprised at something like that? They could shoot a guy in the back while running away and say, "Oh yeah, it's a mistrial. Just throw it out." One juror didn't want to do what he wanted to do or do what he's supposed to do. How'd you?
No, I'm never surprised. I'm never surprised by anything that has to do with the system of white supremacy. And what that means is that we have to understand as black people, and it pains us to realize this, so we try to shun away from it, that we are dominated by the system of racism. We don't live in a system of racism. We are dominated by it, meaning that it controls us. It controls the level of activity that we participate in as a whole. So not individually, not maybe me as the black guru and you as Chris and the listeners as listeners individually. However, as a collective, the ideology dominates us. So what's surprising to me, actually, Chris, is the fact that black people have not come up with a counter-racist strategy beyond simply protesting and are trying to pray away the evil spirit of racism. Those are the two extremes we always go to. So either we're praying somewhere, hoping God will shoo away those evil spirits, or we take action that's completely ineffective in the form of rioting and large protests and tearing up cities. So in the 500-year history of racism, we haven't been able to effectively come up with a strategy to protect ourselves from it and ultimately eliminate it. That's
Right.
what's surprising.
Yeah, I mean, some type of way, and the